right, here's how you would make a color adjustment to an Illustrator file. I'm going to drag it into Photoshop. Illustrator and Photoshop, they all work together really nicely. So I'm going to grab your file and I'm going to open it in Photoshop. Oops. And whatever it says, I'm just going to say okay. Now I have your Photoshop file or your Illustrator file. It's opened in Photoshop. You can see it's floating there. There's no background layer. I'm going to add a layer here just to show you. Let me see. I'm going to fill it with the foreground color. So you can see it has it's floating. It's just still nicely, I don't know what to say. It has no background. It's a PNG file, so it was good. I'll leave that file there. I just turned it off over here. What I did was open my layers panel. You can do that by going Window, Layers, or it should be over here in your sidebar. What I want to do is select the layer with your monogram letter here, and you want to adjust the color. So what I'm going to do is down here at the bottom, this circle that's halfway through is an adjustment layer. I don't know why it's not telling me what it is right now, but it's an adjustment layer. Create a new fill or adjustment layer. So I'm going to click that. And the one that I want to use is the hue and saturation. And a new panel is going to open up. Your layers are going to disappear. And what you can do is two things. You can hit colorize and it'll give you some predetermined just flat colors. It's going to flatten it. Or I'm going to unclick that. Or you can just move these hues down until you see sort of a hue that you would like, maybe something a little more natural. Maybe decrease the saturation. It felt just really saturated right now. Maybe increase the lightness just a little bit. And if you like it, great. Just push this back. And then let's open your layers panel again. And that layer is right here. And if I ever at any point want to turn it off, I just click that eye and it goes right back to normal. If I would like to maybe, let's say, add a drop shadow to what I'm seeing here, you could have done that in Illustrator, but you can also do it here in Photoshop. So I'll select my letter A again and I'll go down to the FX and I'll say drop shadow. And it'll apply a drop shadow for me. If I don't like where it's heading, I can change, like the angle of the sun. That's what the angle is, where the light's coming from. And you can adjust the distance if you like. I'm just going to hit OK. And if I turn on the background, you can see where the shadow hits. If I don't like that, again, I can just turn it off. Not a big deal. I'll leave it on. What else can I do? If I have my layer selected here, I can also go to color balance, which is kind of nice. Color balance allows you to specifically choose midtones, highlights, and shadows. If I like my midtones, maybe I want to make them a little more green, I'll pull these just a little bit just to see if I can get to a color exactly like I want. If I want to change the shadows maybe from purple, this darkens my shadows just a little bit. You can play with this to get a color that you like. And same with the highlights, you can brighten it all just a bit. When you're done, just close this. Again, go to layers. If you don't like it, oops, here's color balance. Yeah, we can turn that off. So you can see the subtle variation between the hue and saturation and the color balance. You can change the way they are in the layers panel to get different effects. I kind of like, because I think once you do one, it affects everything below it. So that's how you would do it.